So today we're going to do something called lofting. So I'm going to create a new document and we're going to call it lofting practice. Remember, you should always name your stuff. Don't just leave it untitled. Please don't do that. Don't do that for Word documents, Excel documents, your Google Sheets, Google Docs. Don't do that. Trust me, it's so much easier to find stuff when you have a good naming system. You need to find it later on, you'll find it. All right, so lofting is different than extruding. Remember, extruding is like, you just make a circle and you just go straight forward or straight down or whatever, and it fills in the volume. Rotating was kind of cool because you can create this shape and then spin it until it turns to a solid. So lofting is when you take two different shapes on two different planes. Okay? So let's do two shapes and let's do two planes and we'll connect them together. So here we go. So first off, we're going to do a sketch and we'll do this plane here. So this is the top plane, so I'm going to click it. And then let's rotate that around. Normally on normal softwares it does that automatically. I don't know if there's a setting on this one, but and then we're going to let's start with a shape. Let's go with you can go with any shape you want. I'm going to go with an ellipse, just something a little bit complex. And I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to click this dimension tool and then say, hey, this thing should be, let's say, 4 inches across, and I'm going to click this wall and that wall and say it should be about, oops, I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. I'll say it should be 1.5 inches. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like this could be a adapter for a vacuum nozzle. So you have a vacuum and you want to create this wide nozzle like this, this thing's going to suck stuff up right here. And or this could be the top of a vase or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm done, so I'm going to check this. So we have our one shape and it turned black, which means it's kind of locked up. We pretty much decided every size possible in position. So there it is. Now I need a new plane. Pay attention to this part. Here's where we need a new plane to draw on. So it's got to be kind of, I guess, parallel to this one right here. So watch what we do. There should be something called plane tool right here. So there it is. See plane? So click that. And then we're just going to do a simple offset plane. So I'm going to click this plane. And you see how it raises a new one up right here? How far away? Let's make this 5 inches tall. Okay? So we'll go 5 inches tall and go. There it is. So there's that new plane it did. See, it's called plane 1. And you could name it. You could, I think you could just right click on this and rename it and say top plane, so now it's called top plane. And I could even rename this one, I think. No, I cannot. So that's kind of dumb because I have top and top plane, but anyway, it's fine. You guys get the point. So let me escape out of here. Alright, so we're going to draw on this one right here now. Okay, so let's go to sketch and draw on that new one I just made. Let's click top plane so I can look at it. And now I'm not drawing on this ellipse. Remember, this is like 4 inches above or 5 inches above, whatever I said. So let's go with a more different shape, something completely different than this one. Okay, so I'm just going to draw, let's just draw a rectangle and pretend this is the connector that connects to my vacuum. And this could be a circle as well. So we could do a circle or a square. So I'm going to do a square right now. Or rectangle, I should say. And let's go with, let's just dimension it up. It's always good practice. Let's go 2 inches here. And then let's go not the angle. Come on now. Let's go 1 inch right there. And to make this centered, I'm going to say that distance right there should be 0.5 inches. And this right here, from the center to this line, should be 1 inch. That should be 1 inch to make it centered. This has to be 1 inch because remember, this whole thing is 2. So I just divide it in half and now it's locked up. Notice it turned black, so we're all good to go. So now I'm done. So let's click that little check mark to say we're done. And let's go isometric view. Look at that. You see how I have a shape up here and a shape here? We're going to connect this one to this one and it's going to fill in the geometry itself. See this tool right here? Loft? You see it's called Loft right here. Let's click it. And it says profiles. So click this one and click that one. Whoa, look at that. And it connected it. So Let's say it was a special little attachment I wanted to make, it works. Now there's a couple things you could do. We're going to teach you two more things here. We can do something called shell. Do you guys see shell right here? Shell. You click that, then we click the face, and then it removes everything, leaving only this amount of plastic left, or whatever material you're talking about. So I'll explain this in a minute. So right now, let's just keep it 0.1 inches, 0.1, and push check mark. So what did it do? You guys want to see? It made like a hole. You guys see that? What it does is, when I click this face, it literally eats away everything like a bunch of termites eating all the way down, leaving only whatever you put, 0.1 inches left, all the way down. Okay, so this would be like a vase, I guess. Like if you wanted to put this up, you can fill this with something, like flowers or something. But if I wanted a hole, here's how I do this. And I have students that messed up before. Watch this. They're like, man, I shelled it, but it didn't do what I wanted. Well, you see right here, I shelled, I lofted, I drew a plane, and I did a sketch, and I did a new plane, I did original sketch, right? It records everything. So I can delete that shell off and go, delete that. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do whole, and I'm going to simple. Now these are holes, so I can't do this right here. So I can't do that. So let's see, shell. And I can go hollow. What? Let's click that. I let her in already, so she should be in there now. Next. But thank you for letting me know. Shell. There we go, shell. And let's click hollow and see what happens. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, I know what hollow, what it does is it makes, yes, all the inside, so it doesn't remove the face I clicked on. So if I let go of that, then it does eat that face away as well. Let's check that. I'm curious if I want to shell this side as well, if I want to make it go all the way through. Let's see. Shell. This is what I was trying to do. Yeah, I don't think it likes to do that. Yeah, it doesn't like to do that. So you'd have to draw a new hole if you really wanted it. For example, you would say sketch, and you would sketch this, and then you would draw a new square here. And I'm sure there might be another way to do this, but if it really bugged you here, you wanted the 0.1 hole here, you could just say from here to here should be 0.1, and then this should be much smaller. Remember, this was 2 inches before, so this should be 1.8 inches now, taking 0.1 off each side. Then this to here needs to be 0.1. There we go, it's all shifting over. And this whole thing originally was 1 inch, I think? No, 1.5. So I need to take 0.2 off, so this is 1.3, I think. Nope, that was wrong. Maybe it was 1 inch before. So then it should be 0.8. There we go. So there we go. That's what I was looking for. So then I can say finish, and then here I could just do a simple extrude, and then just make sure I'm going the right direction here. Let's see. Nope. I want to go the other way, so I'm going to go to remove, and I only need to go down like 0.1 inches, because remember, that's how thick the shell was originally. So that should work. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So now I have the hole all the way through. So if that's what you wanted to do. So that's what lofting is. You could do a star shape to a circle. You could do really cool shapes, one shape to another shape, and then you loft them together. So if you remember, just as a quick review, you start with one shape. So you start with that shape. So notice I drew this right here. I drew an oval. Then you have to take a new plane. So you have to click that plane tool right here, and then you add a new plane and you make it a certain distance away. So if you look where I did that, let me show you. So I originally drew this oval on this plane. Then I clicked plane tool, wherever that was, I did it right here, and then I created a new plane up here, 5 inches away. Then I did sketch 2 right here. See, when I hover over it, it colors it. So when I hover over that, that's the sketch 2. So I did the new plane right there. I sketched 2, I drew that. Then I did the loft connecting the two shapes together. And that's what you do. You take one shape that's closed and another shape that's closed, and it'll just connect the two together. And then from there, I did a shell feature right here, which is right here, to shell it out and kind of eat away all the material inside if you want to make it hollow. And that's it, folks.